Hey, it's Jenny May here, and I want to talk to you about protein and my favorite reason to eat protein. Any guesses? Any guesses? As a chemist, I've been exposed to a lot of chemicals, and believe it or not, your proteins play a huge role in eliminating toxins, chemicals from your body. And that is the number one reason I think everybody should make sure they get their protein in their meal, in every meal, is to make sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet into your system, that your body can use those compounds that it breaks the proteins down into to eliminate the toxins from your system. So on average, they say a person gets exposed to 500 chemicals a day. So from the plastics we leach out of the coffee, out of the coffee pot when we make coffee in the morning, to when you're driving in your car and you take in fumes from somebody's exhaust, to if you live on city water and you take a hot shower and the chlorine that's in it gets turned into chlorine gas and then you inhale it. If you walk in someplace where there's a new carpet and the carpet's degassing, you're going to inhale that from the lotions we put on our skin and the chemicals that are in that and on our faces. Like, the list is endless. And they say the 500 chemicals a day that people are exposed to is somebody trying to avoid chemicals. So I'm not trying to scare you about chemicals, but it's very much a reality, and it's very much one of the things that can stop people from losing fat after 40. So if you think over your lifetime how much you've gotten exposed to, and if you've always been deficient in protein, then your body's never been able to properly eliminate the toxins, which can then impact your metabolism and your ability to burn fat. So what does the body do with toxins once it gets in your system? Well, it's either circulating in your system, and the body's answer to pollution is dilution, which means it's going to retain water. So if you're changing your diets and you're not seeing any water lose, you're not losing, your body may be holding the water because it's trying to dilute down any harmful effects that you may incur from the toxins that are circulating in your system, right? Your body's not working against you, it's saving you. It's saving you from suffering by diluting down the toxins. The other thing it might do with toxins is it will bind it up and tuck it away in your fat cells so that it can't hurt you. And we don't want that. You don't want to be walking around with pounds of toxic fat on you. So I'm not going to get into all the science about how the proteins in the liver and all that type of stuff work to bind the toxins and get them out of your system, because that would be long and boring for most people. If you want that information, I'm happy to talk to you. Just leave me a comment or send me a message. But in a nutshell, in order to eliminate toxins from your body, you have to get enough protein. If you're doing an all plant-based detox and there's no protein in there, then you're just taking toxins that are bound and safely stored in your fat cells, releasing them into your bloodstream, and it can very well make you sick. Always, if you're doing any sort of a detox or cleanse, make sure that you have protein with it. So rule of thumb, 0.6 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you need 60 grams of protein a day. Ballpark number. So you're looking for 20 grams of protein at every meal. If you weigh more than that, you can do the math. 0.6 grams per pound of body weight, you're going to have a little bit more than that. But good rule of thumb I tell people, is just 20 grams of protein at every meal. Make sure that your protein and carbs balance. For blood sugar, that's a whole different topic, but for toxins, make sure you're getting 20 grams of protein for every meal. If you're using chickpeas or something like that and you look at the label, you're not getting 20 grams of protein. You're getting about a ton of carbs and very little protein. If you're using beans or nuts for your protein, take a look at the label and see what your serving size needs to be in order to hit that number. It's probably going to be a lot more fat than protein depending on the nut. So good protein sources are obviously your animal proteins, and then there are lots of plant-based proteins out there today. From protein powder to the protein replacement products, but always make sure you read that label. And if you're doing plant-based meat replacement products, make sure that chemical list is short, because if you're taking in the protein but you're adding a ton more chemicals that have to get bound, you're not really helping yourself. Protein powders are a great way to get that in. Only what you need. OWYN protein powder is exceptionally clean. I like that one for sure. If you're looking for a plant-based protein powder, there's lots of great ones out there. That's the one that comes to my head first. In terms of if you're concerned about toxins, whey protein is the best one to consume in order to help that detoxification process to get the proteins actually bound and out of your body. My favorite whey is the Polican brand Whey Stronger. But any Muscle Feast is also a great one. But any of the whey proteins that come from the grass-fed dairy cows is going to be important. And that's really about it. That's all I wanted to say, is make sure you're getting those proteins in, because it's going to be a long road if you're not.